Welcome everyone to this week's NIM community call. Another week, another call. We really are on a roll. So we promise that we're gonna be back unless I'm dead, or something serious happens to me. Okay, it can be less serious than that. But I am aiming to do one of these calls every single week. So it's a pleasure to introduce myself. For those who may not know me, I am Sudo, aka Simon. I am head of community at NIM. As you know, we've had guests, ironically, even though I said there are going to be fewer guests on NIM community calls, we had some pretty amazing ones in the previous episodes. So make sure to check those out. And today it's going to be a solo episode. We do have some funky little news items for you guys, both from around the world and also from NIM. And of course, now that I'm alone again, there is also going to be the usual little game for you guys to try not your luck, but your knowledge, your incredible knowledge that you gained throughout being a part of the NIM community. So very excited about that. One more thing is that, of course, there's going to be a Q&A at the end. So make sure if you have any questions for me or, well, actually, it's only me today. So, if you have any questions for me, then leave them in chat. We're keeping a close eye on both here on the YouTube chat and also on Matrix. And if you don't want to log in with your YouTube account and compromise your privacy that way, then you can leave your questions on Matrix or even on our Telegram and elsewhere, and we're going to pick those up. What else? Oh, yeah. And we're continuing the tradition of dropping some NymVPN free passes. So if you're new to NIM and you haven't been able to try NymVPN, or you're just considering trying it out, there is a free trial if you just go and purchase a subscription or initiate a subscription. But we can also hook you up with a 1 month free pass, which is longer than the usual 1 week free trial that you would get if you just purchased a subscription. Now, I don't know, we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, so I don't know if you guys are actually able to watch us, see us, and if the image quality and everything is okay. If not, please shout in chat and we will do our best to fix it. All right, let's jump right into it. Hopefully I didn't miss anything from my intro. Okay, let's get started. First with our privacy news. Now, I only brought very few news items this week. First of them, oops, sorry, wrong. I almost ruined the demo. Where's my screen share? Sal, help me out here. Oh, excellent. Okay, and make the screen bigger. People don't care about me as much as the beautiful news that I'm bringing for them. All right, so this is the first piece of news. Researchers warn Wi-Fi could become an invisible mass surveillance system. So if you've been keeping an eye on such news, then you already know that I think last year they first demonstrated the ability with machine learning and just the Wi-Fi antenna to map a room with quite a high degree of accuracy. And these researchers basically took that even one step further. So researchers say a new technology can identify individuals even when they are not carrying a Wi-Fi device by passively recording signals in radio networks, raising serious privacy concerns and prompting calls for stronger protections. Researchers at the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, I definitely butchered that, so sorry for everyone, have shown that people can be recognized solely by recording Wi-Fi communication in their surroundings, a capability they warn poses a serious threat to personal privacy. The method does not require individuals to carry an electric device, nor does it rely on specialized hardware. Instead, it makes use of ordinary Wi-Fi devices already communicating with each other nearby. As radio waves move through a space and interact with people, they create distinctive patterns that can be captured and analyzed. These patterns are comparable to images produced by cameras, but they are formed using radio signals rather than light. The research team argues that this emerging capability highlights the urgent need for stronger privacy protections. And then they later go on to say, the method takes advantage of normal network communication between connected devices and the router. These devices regularly send feedback signals within the network, known as beamforming feedback information, BFI, which are transmitted through encryption and which are transmitted without encryption and can be read by anyone within range. By collecting this data, images of people can be generated from multiple perspectives, allowing individuals to be identified. Once the machine learning model has been trained, the identification process only takes a few seconds. Almost 100% accuracy, technology entails risks to privacy. In a study with almost 200 participants, the team could infer the identity of persons with almost 100% accuracy, independently of the perspective or their gait. And then the researcher, Struve, says, the technology is powerful, but at the same time entails risks to our fundamental rights, especially to privacy. So this is kind of scary stuff. First, when I heard about this whole room mapping or space mapping via Wi-Fi signals thing, I thought it was more, sensationalism or overblown reporting. But it looks like there was an actual study carried out, specifically to identify individuals. So it's not just the fact that someone is sitting there, but actually Sudo is sitting there based on Wi-Fi signals only. So this is kind of scary. And this is also the reason why I brought this article from our privacy news roundup, is also because this is also based on patterns, just like the kind of surveillance that NymVPN protects you against. But unfortunately, not even NymVPN can protect you against this one. So as it was pointed out in the article, this can even be done without you having any Wi-Fi device with you. So it's just a matter of the signals around you basically hitting you and or like being reflected off of you. So it's an imaging technology. That's what makes it kind of scary. All right, moving on to the next news item. This is about Discord, which I'm pretty sure that most of our community already knows about. So it's not going to be big news to you, but still we have to talk about it, not just because of its news value, but also because the Nym team now also is in a bit of a tough spot regarding Discord. All right, so let's jump into it. What happened? Discord will soon require face scans or ID for all users or restrict access. So, yep, all users worldwide will have their accounts updated to teen designation by default. This will bring updated communication settings, restricted access to age-gated spaces, and content filtering. Adults will need to verify their age via a face scan or by submitting their ID. In some cases, both will be required. And then this is straight from, it's a quote from Discord's blog post, which they released about this topic. Discord users can choose to use facial age estimation or submit a form of identification to its vendor partners, with more options coming in the future. Additionally, Discord will implement its age interference model, a new system that runs in the background to help determine whether an account belongs to an adult without always requiring users to verify their age. Some users may be asked to use multiple methods if more information is needed to assign an age group. Now, yeah, this is the news, and here's the problem. So we're expecting, as I mentioned on previous community calls in the news roundups, we're expecting this kind of stuff to happen more and more often. So in more and more situations, your government ID in various ways will be tied to your internet use, which is just not how the internet was imagined. And even though all of these things are always tucked under child protection, right? This is also like on the face of it, it's a child protection measure. It's still deeply dystopian, and the implications are very far-reaching and very dire. So this is sort of like among the first of many of such pieces of news to come in the near future. Now, the problem with Discord, right, is not new. This is not the first issue with it. It stands. So the reason why it's been like our Discord has been on notice for when it comes to Nym and the Nym community for some time is because it stands in a lot of ways against what we stand for. So first of all, it's not self-hosted like the tools that Discord aims to copy, which are tools like TeamSpeak, which is the OG Discord basically, and some others. Are self-hosted. So when you have a server on TeamSpeak, that is actually a server which is run by you and hosted by you, right? And configured by you and owned by you. So you have sovereignty over it. Now, when it comes to Discord, they basically took the model on the face of it. It looks like a TeamSpeak server, but it has even more functionality. But you don't actually host it. You don't actually own it, right? That's problem number one. Problem number two, and this is a bit more severe, is that, if you look at the privacy policy and also the end user license agreement for Discord, it's full of major issues. For example, it says that it stores personal data indefinitely. It also sort of, you can infer from their privacy policy that they buy data from third parties, and then they sort of combine that data with the data that they have about you to learn more about you. So it's really not great when it comes to privacy. And now this, right? So we're in a bit of a pickle here because on the other hand, NIM wants to be where the eyeballs are. We want to provide you, our community, with the platforms that you are already on, right? And also get maybe new community members by being on the platforms where people already are. So we have this this weird situation where we're actually considering, and let us know what you think. I'd be super happy to hear your thoughts. You can reach out to me in DM. You can start a thread on the NIM forum, or you can reach out to us, on any of our socials. Whether we should shut down our Discord server and just not participate in what is happening here, and just the general not great situation that the full monopoly of Discord is bringing upon us. Or not, and stay here and just be very clear in our communication and inform our community about, the downsides, but remain open to people who may find out about us via this platform. So, let me know what you think, guys. I'm keeping an eye on chat, and I'm super curious to hear whether you're providing this, face scans or IDs or whatever to Discord, whether you will even continue using Discord after all of this, whether you just don't care about this. I'd be super interested to hear how you're thinking about this. And let's see what happens on this front. All right. And then moving on to some NIM related news, which I believe I got to bring the slides back. Yes. NIM news. Let me see what I have in my notes here. Wait, this is not the first slide. Anyways, this will be just a one-liner that maybe we forgot to bring the slide for it, but our chief scientist, Claudia Diaz, is on her way back from Hong Kong, from the Consensus conference, which sounded like a lot of fun, and I'm kind of jealous that I was not there. We had a booth together with the Midnight Foundation, associated with IOHK, and while she was there in Hong Kong, she also participated in a bunch of things, organized mostly by The Roost, which is a very interesting project. I suggest you guys looking it up. Oh, there's the image. Thanks for bringing it on, Sal. So this is our beloved chief scientist, Claudia Diaz, here in Hong Kong. Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like the day of the technical problems is upon us. All right, so as I was saying, Claudia participated in a bunch of events and conversations that were mainly organized by The Roost, which is a very interesting project. I recommend everybody checking out. It's basically like a think tank for IOHK, which in and of itself is a fantastic project. And they had a panel which is called the Off the Record Privacy Salon, which is interesting because, to my knowledge, the event was recorded, and although it wasn't live streamed, the recording may be published at some point. So if it is, then you will know. So keep an eye on our Twitter and other socials, because we're going to be posting about it when it comes out. And there was also a podcast discussion recorded with Claudia and Chris Gant from IOHK and Ahmed Nimali from TIX, which is shaping up to be a very interesting conversation. But that also hasn't been released yet. So again, keep an eye on our socials. We're going to be releasing all of this this great crispy new stuff as it drops. And by the way, I'll also mention, since I don't have a slide about this, but I'll also mention, since we're here, that our lead DevRel Max, who you probably already know, especially if you've been in the NIM community for some time. He's right now in Kyiv, Ukraine, along with our front-end dev, our beloved front-end dev, who you may also know, Yana, and they're attending the Cyber Resilience Conference. So if you're in the region, make sure to say hi and drop by. And I will also mention that I'm also basically, I may have some very exciting travel plans shaping up, but I don't want to jinx anything. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it will happen. Looking at Uncle Lem, if he's here with us in chat, we'll see, and you'll find out about it as soon as I can say more. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. All right, moving on to the next NIM-related news item, which is still not this. It's gonna be our Happy Lunar New Year campaign. Okay, so first of all, if you happen to watch us from China or any other country which celebrates Lunar New Year, then Happy Lunar New Year to you guys. It's an excellent celebration, and I'm kind of jealous actually of the whole Lunar New Year thing, you know, with the fireworks and everything. So yeah, hope you had a good one. It was this year. It took place on the 17th of February, and along with that, or actually timed with that, now nym.com and also the NymVPN app itself, and even our help center are now live in Chinese. So hopefully that will make it easier for our Chinese community to find us, which is actually growing quite a bit, because as it turns out, our continued very strong efforts towards censorship resistance resulted in censorship resistance getting stronger, and as a result, now we're seeing a big uptick in interest in NymVPN from primarily China, but also some other regions which are very censored. That's very, very, very nice to see. And yeah, if you just joined the community and you're from China, welcome. And hopefully you're having a fun time. If you have any questions, then make sure to leave them in chat. I'm happy to answer. Now, also, there is, I believe I have to show my screen for this. Yes. Wait, where is my screen? Nope. Yep, there it is. So we have a little Lunar New Year campaign going. I mentioned free passes already. You can get a 30 year that would be nice, a 30-day free pass to access NymVPN. And if you just go to our Twitter, which will be linked in the chat, you can tell us when you realize that you need privacy in your life, and 5 people will get, for 7 days, 5 people every day will get a 1 month free pass. So make sure to do that if you're looking to hook yourself up with an NymVPN free pass, and if you happen to miss the free passes that are being shared in the chat throughout this call. All right, that's all there is to about our Lunar New Year event, and now. Before we move on to a few demos that I brought you, which I'm or like sneak peeks of some features that are coming to NymVPN, or that are coming to more versions of NymVPN, I also have to mention something else, which is that the NymVPN price is gonna drop. So you in the near future, if you don't already, I don't know if the changes already went live or not. I haven't checked before the call, but in the very near future, if it hasn't gone live already, NymVPN's price will drop a little bit. This is, of course, something that can happen, especially with a new product. We're looking at all kinds of metrics and data, and then based on that we decide the price. It's a very flexible yet strategic decision. But of course, a price change, especially if the price drops, may break a promise, which we remember. And of course, we remember the people we made that promise to, who are our early birds. If you remember, and I know I can see in the chat that a bunch of our early birds are here, the earliest supporters of NymVPN. Many of them were around and hanging out with us way before NymVPN was even a thing, and we even announced that we will be working on a VPN. And our early birds had a major discount, and back then we promised that the price is going to be the lowest. It's never going to be lower than that. So we have to break that promise. This, it just is what it is. Strategies change, and we had to move with the times. But if you are an early bird, please make sure there's going to be a link in chat. Please make sure to reach out to support. And if you reach out and you're an early bird, then we're going to extend your subscription by 6 months. To basically honor the promise in a different way. Big thanks for sticking with us, to all of our early birds. We couldn't have come this far without you. So yeah, big thanks for sticking with us. Next up are the demos, which I promised. here, maybe. Oops. All right, I don't know. Sal, can you please bring on the demos? All right. First up is something that I hope Justin is listening to this call. Someone from the NIM team who you may already know. Something is coming very soon to NymVPN, which is mixednet parameterization. Parameterization, I guess that's how it's pronounced. Now, why is parameterization a big deal? So, as you know, the NIM mixednet, so NymVPN in anonymous mode, is doing a bunch of different things to your traffic, which makes, even from an outsider's perspective, who can observe the entire network, impossible to deduce patterns from your communication. So that's the big thing about NymVPN, especially in anonymous mode, that it protects not only your data, like the actual content of your messages, but also the metadata. Now, how it's being done is via mixednet, of course, which as you know, sends cover traffic, which hides your real packets, your real communications, amongst a bunch of fake packets, which look exactly the same from the outside as if they were real packets. So that's one thing that it does, and the other is that it adds at each hop. There are 5 hops in total. At each hop, it adds a random amount of delay to your packets, and this way, timing correlation attacks are also made much more difficult. Now, the problem with this, it is great, it is excellent, but the problem with this is that all of this comes with trade-offs, right? There's a fundamental trade-off relationship between a bunch of things that you would want out of your internet connection and adding such extra steps to your packets traveling from A to B, right? So this has been a long time coming, and if you are on our Telegram channel, where our CEO Harry hangs out very regularly, then you've been hearing about this for a long time. He's promised upcoming improvements to mixednet performance. And this is the first of many of those to come. And this is a big one. I'm very, very excited about this. And hopefully Justin is watching, because he's been asking for this, and he's been the big proponent of this change for a very long time. So basically, with the mixednet parameterization, going forward, it won't just be that you enable 5-hop and then you leave it on, but you will be able to configure various things that 5-hop does to your liking, to be able to configure the trade-offs between certain things. So as you can see from my screen share here, which is this demo of the parameterization functionality, you will be able to turn continuous traffic on and off, which is a big deal, because if you're a mobile, first of all, if you continuously send cover traffic, right, then you may burn through your limited data with your ISP. So that's a no-go, right? If you don't want continuous data, with the trade-off being that it will be somewhat easier to see when you're actually communicating, right? You can turn that off going forward. You can also configure the speed at which this anonymous not anonymous, but this cover traffic is sent, right? You can set it higher so that more of the peaks when you actually communicate gets hidden in the constant flow of fake traffic, and you can also set it lower to preserve data, right? The choice will be in your hand, and the trade-offs are going to be explained to you. Now, also the mixing delays, right? If you set your mixing delays very high, it is very, very difficult to know which packets are yours, right, on the mixed network. But on the other hand, if you have like a 200, like a maximum, what is shown in my screen share here as maximum anonymity, right? 200 milliseconds for each hop. That's 600 milliseconds just as delay, like actual real delay added for each of the hops, right? So each packet, just through that, beyond all the other things that happen to your packet, entry gateway, exit gateway, getting to the entry gateway from your device, and then reaching the destination from the exit gateway, all of that adds extra latency, and all of that starts from 600 milliseconds. That may be problematic for some use cases, right? So if you want to have a bit of trade-off, right, to make this lower, make this delay lower, at the slight reduction of the privacy properties of your connection, then you will be able to do that. So this is I probably did a fairly okay but still kind of poor job at explaining this. I will have a guest once this drops. I will have a guest on, likely Anya Piotrowska, who you already know from previous community calls, to explain this in a bit more detail. But this is a big step towards not just better mixed-net performance, but also for you to be able to make these decisions on your own. Depending on what you need. Do you need actual hardcore privacy? The best that the mixed-net can offer. You can max out all of these values. You can leave traffic cover traffic continuous, right? And be done with it. If you want a bit better performance, and a bit less hard on privacy, then you can just drop them, and yeah, then your connection performance is going to be a bit better. This is not the only improvement that's coming to mixed-net performance, but it is one of the big ones. So I'm very excited to show it to you today. Excellent. Moving on to my next demo. Sal, can you please bring it on? Okay, so the other big thing, which is probably something, if you already have an NymVPN, especially on Android, and you're keeping an eye on our socials, then you already know about, so it's not going to be news to you. We introduced on Android split tunneling a while back. Split tunneling is pretty important, especially for something like NymVPN, because with split tunneling, you can decide on a per application basis what goes through NymVPN and what goes through ClearNet, basically. So let's say you have a banking application, right? Which most of us do on our phones, right? Where you make financial transactions, or maybe you have a crypto wallet, which is the same thing, right? Or you have a Signal, which is where you send private messages. Now, what's common in all of these is that they are all like high risk or higher sensitivity use cases, right? So you obviously, if there's anything you want to protect when it comes to your network level, it is your banking app, it is your private messaging, and it is your crypto transactions, right? So the other thing that's common among all of these is that they don't need you to have very low latency and very high bandwidth, right? These can all work on lower bandwidth, higher latency connections. So for example, you can take all of these things and route them through NymVPN in anonymous mode, right? And then you can route all of your other applications through ClearNet, right? So that bypasses NymVPN. So this is for specifically NymVPN and its anonymous mode. I think this is a really, really amazing feature. And now it's coming not just to Android, but soon it will also drop on other operating systems. So if you don't have an Android phone, maybe, or you have one, but you also have any desktop device, and you want to use NymVPN on it in this way, then just stay tuned, because soon you will be able to, and I think that's going to be a great step forward. And the even bigger thing that I've been looking forward to a lot, and I think the Nym team is a bit already tired of me for repeating this over and over again, but basically three-way split tunneling or app split tunneling is also coming at some point this year, which means that you will. So for now, all you have is the option of NymVPN or ClearNet, right? No NymVPN, but you will also have the option later on to select for each application between or among ClearNet, NymVPN fast mode, NymVPN anonymous mode, and I think that's endgame. So that's something that I'm very, very excited about, and it's coming later this year. But for the time being, you're gonna have split tunneling, and you're gonna have it on more than just Android. So hopefully you're as excited about this as I am. And I believe now we've come to something that I will have to show on my screen. The last little demo that I have for you, which is the new Nym Squad League leaderboard. So now you can see it's been redesigned. So if you haven't kept a close eye on NIM Squad League, probably this whole thing is brand new to you. So in that case, welcome. We've been cooking, but now you see that all the seasons of all the individual seasons of the NIM Squad League have their own little designs, right? In accordance with the season. So for fall, you have leaves falling. For winter, you have snow falling, etc., etc. Big congrats, by the way, to the current leaders of the ongoing winter season. So that's Slava, Rustam, and Lux Crypto. Good job so far. And yeah, so maybe a bit of an explanation for those who don't know, who are new here, what the NIM Squad League is, right? The NIM Squad League is like a bit of a game for the NIM community that you can participate in, but it's also a serious game. Now, what do I mean by that? So first of all, you can just collect points, XP within the NIM community with just basic things such as hanging out with us here on these calls, doing a great job on the NIM community channels, becoming the NIM star of a given month, stuff like that, all the way to, and this is why it's serious, all the way to building the next tool within the NIM ecosystem and getting grants for that work. Also, a lot of the localization work that happens, translating the NIM website, the NymVPN application, and the NIM Help Center happens via the contributions of the community. Many of them are here with us. Hi there, Rocio, just to name one. And yeah, so that's also enabled. That's also enabled and rewarded via grants in the NSL framework. So this thing, along with many other things that are coming to NSL this year, which I'm not going to spoil, is just our way of trying to make it a bit more, easy to view and nice to look at for you guys. Hopefully you like it, and good job on Salazar's part. If you want to see Salazar on a community call, then make sure to let him know. I try to get him on to talk about his work. He's doing so much behind the scenes, but he's shy. So put some pressure on him. Maybe someday you will be able to meet him. All right. Did I leave anything out? No, I don't believe I did. Oh, actually, I did leave out one thing, which is to share with you on the Discord topic. If you wanna have a great overview of the whole issue and why it's so dangerous, what Discord is doing, you can watch this. I just sent a link in chat. This is an excellent in-depth video by Gamers Nexus on this topic, one of my personal favorites. It's very comprehensive, and it also outlines the problem itself very well. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned them because they are so they did a really good job on this one. All right, and now moving on to game time. I hope everybody's ready. Okay, cool. So as usual, we're gonna bring a few questions for you, and the quickest answer wins. Sometimes more than one quick answer wins because I make the rules and I make exceptions to throw in a bit of unpredictability in there. So get your fingers, your typing skills ready and sharp because the game is starting. All right, first question. Are we ready? I see a let's go. Let's go then. When your device queries a domain name, the traditional protocol that reveals the query to the resolver in plain text is... What is it? I'll repeat the question. When your device queries a domain name, the traditional protocol that reveals the query to the resolver in plain text is... What is it? I'll give you a bit more time to answer. I know there's also a delay. I see some answers rolling in. Okay, I think it's time to reveal. Drum roll, please. And the answer is DNS. Yes. So that's the domain name system. Basically, it turns from our little human brain understandable information, right? Which is mostly words, right? red letters, www.xyz.com, right? It turns those into IP addresses, right? IP addresses and yeah, basically that's behind the scenes. That's how the internet works. DNS is a big avenue for surveillance as well. So it's important to use a private DNS. By the way, you can configure custom DNS providers within NymVPN. So you just need to go to settings and you can set up your DNS there. And it's worth it to use one that is private. And more importantly, you can also do things via DNS, such as ad blocking, which is also a cool thing. I believe AdGuard has their own DNS service, which you can use so that you know your ads are the ads that you'd be shown are blocked on the DNS level. So you may want to look into that as well. But enough of the rambling and the blabbering. Who is the winner? All right. So the first answer is by Rocio, but unfortunately that was not correct. The blistering fast beyond seems to be the first correct answer with DNS. And then a mere 4 seconds later, user was next. But unfortunately, this round there will only be one winner, so it's gonna be beyond. But good job everyone who said DNS. Moving on to the next question. My palms are sweaty. The stakes are very high, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to be the winner today? All right, question 2. Your browser shows a padlock. That's a sign of HTTPS. What can your ISP still usually see? All right, so repeating the question. Your browser shows a padlock, HTTPS. What can your ISP still usually see? Options coming up. The messages you're sending, the domain you visited and when, often via DNS and IPs, your browser cache, the text you type into forms, often via DNS and IPs. Repeating the options here. Sorry, I didn't say the letters at first. So A, the messages you're sending. B, the domain you visited and when, often via DNS and IPs. C, your browser cache. D, the text you type into forms, often via DNS and IPs. All right, I'll give you some more time. I see some answers rolling in already. Yes, only one is correct. All right, it's time for the big reveal. Are we ready? The answer is B, the domain you visited and when, right? So HTTPS is an encrypted protocol, right? It's encrypted with TLS, I believe, and the contents that you're viewing on the website are protected by encryption, right? They are encrypted. So the text you input is not something that because a lot of you said B and D. The text you input is not something that the ISP could see, but they can easily see, unless, of course, you're using a VPN, the domain you visited and also the time you visited it. So, yeah, the answer is B. But who was the first one to provide the correct answer? Very, very close fight here. The difference is only... Wait, actually... Okay, the first 3 correct answers came all at the same time. Literally, I can see the timestamp with the second also, and all of them are the exact same second on my side. So I'm going to show three winners here. We have to have 3 winners. First of all is our beloved Rocio with B. Congratulations. And then at the same second is a user. And then Anderson, also at the same exact second. So we have a three-way tie in round two. Very, very quick. Excellent job. All right, ladies and gents, moving on to the next question. Question 3. The stakes are ever higher. What is the main privacy trade-off of using a traditional VPN? I'll repeat the question. What is the main privacy trade-off of using a traditional VPN? What could it be? The options are A, you eliminate all tracking everywhere. B, you move visibly from your ISP to the VPN provider. C, your DNS becomes impossible to observe by anyone. D, websites can't log your account activity. All right, so once again, A, you eliminate all tracking everywhere. B, you move visibly to your from your ISP to the VPN provider. C, your DNS becomes impossible to observe by anyone. Or D, websites can't log your account activity. All right, what could it be? I see some answers rolling in. Okie dokie. All right, drum roll, please. And the correct answer is B. You move visibility from your ISP to the VPN provider. Excellent. Now this is interesting because if we go with the standard rules, right, and only A, B, C, or D can be a valid answer, that's one set of winners. But I also see some good runner-ups, which I will have to mention. From Rustam, centralization. Yes, that's a big one. And also, Winnie the Pooh runs it. Well, yeah. If you know the meme, you know the meme. But yeah, these are both very legitimate concerns and actually good answers to the question. But we have to keep within, the answers within these four that are predefined here. And the first correct answer I can see, once again, in a two-way tie, is Rocio. So congratulations. At exactly the same second, Diana. So yeah, that's a two-way tie. Congratulations. Not a three-way tie this time, but a two-way one. So we have two winners here. All right. Moving on to our last question, I believe. Yes. Which is, yeah, now the stakes are life or death. This is becoming a very, very high stakes game. So I hope you're not too excited or anxious. My palms are very sweaty now. I can just feel in my skin the stakes of this game. All right. So last question. A website can often guess you're the same person across visits by using device/browser something, such as font lists, screen size, etc. What is the missing word here? I'll repeat the sentence. A website can often guess you're the same person across visits by using device/browser something, such as font lists, screen size, etc. What is the missing word here? All right, I see some answers rolling in. What could it be? How can a website know that you're the same person across visits? This seems to be a tough one. I'll give you some more time. Yeah, I see cache, metadata, and cookies so far. And none of them are correct. Dum, dum, dum. What could it be? What could it be? I'll give you another few minutes. Maybe one or two. Metadata, is, I mean, actually, technically, I will help this much, okay? Technically, metadata is, maybe it could also be a correct answer, but that's not the term I'm looking for here. You will understand why when I share the answer. All right, so no correct answers so far. Should I reveal? All right, I'm gonna have to reveal the correct answer, which is, drum roll, please, fingerprinting. Yes. So the practice of using things like the extensions in your browser, for example, right? Which extensions exist in your browser? What is the screen resolution of this person, right? And a bunch of other, and the stuff that's listed here. So such as, font lists does this. You can have an infinite number of fonts, and there will be differences between the fonts that I have in my browser versus the fonts that you have in your browser, right? And based on this information, which websites can access by basically providing you with content, right, through your browser, they can fingerprint even if you're not logged in anywhere, even if you're using a VPN, right? This is like one layer, like all inside of those layers. Your browser or not the browser, but the website that you're visiting can fingerprint you based on these. There are various ways to avoid this, right? So, for example, the Tor browser is doing all kinds of things to make all of the users of Tor look the exact same from the fingerprint perspective, and you can do other things. Brave, I think, is also pretty good at like protecting you from fingerprinting, but it's something to keep in mind, right? The more unique your browser looks from various perspectives, the more easy it is to identify you across visits by a website without using any other piece of information. All right, so let me look at, after all that rambling, let's look at... Wait, okay, I think these actually came in. Yeah, these came in. So I'm trying to calculate in my head how many of the answers came in before I revealed the answer because of the delay, right? But I feel like based on the hint that Salazar graciously provided, too nice of you, sir. I wouldn't have, but yeah, he provided a good hint for you guys. So actually, the correct answer started rolling in. But hopefully, this time there will only be one winner. And yes, there is only one winner, which is drum roll. Who could it be? Diana, once again. So Diana tied for the previous question, right, as the correct answer, and then now got this one right the first time. So excellent work, Diana. Thanks for participating, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the very high stakes NIM quiz night, or whatever. I don't even have a name for the game night, but it's not even a night. Here it's only the afternoon where I am. Anyways, it's the very high stakes NIM game something. Yes, that's the name I'm rolling with. Thanks for participating. And the winner is going to be, the overall winner, it has to be Rocio. So Rocio, I think, answered 3 of the 4 questions correctly, and she tied for the first place on question 2 and question 3. So Rocio has to be the winner today. Congratulations. And then I should really be taking notes during the call. Sal, who's second, do you think? Because Diana also got 2 right. Or User also got 2 right. I feel like it's a tie between Diana and User, no? Okay, you know what? You 3 are the winners. Rocio and Diana and User. Thanks for participating. Provide your what's it called? NIM forum IDs NIM forum IDs in the chat, and then Salazar can reach out to you with your prize. Congratulations, were very well played. And now on to the Q&A. I feel like there's not much else I can ramble about. So let's look at the questions. Beyond is asking, are you planning to make an alternative to Discord without without? I guess he means with the KYC situation. I sort of answered this in my rant, right? There is this. I'm really interested in your perspective, guys. Please do share it in chat because and I'm gonna also bring your thoughts on because we have, you know, Telegram also is one of the biggest lies in the world, right? Everybody's using Telegram, and in many people's, especially normies' heads, Telegram is a private messaging application, right? That's how it became big. And that's a huge lie, because Telegram is one of the very few, like even WhatsApp, a Meta product, and now even Facebook Messenger gives you end-to-end encryption, right? So Telegram is uniquely bad, actually, even compared to some super surveillance alternatives, right? But it's very big. And we are sort of with one foot, we're in the crypto space, and especially in the crypto space, Telegram is absolutely huge, right? So do we delete our presence from Telegram? We haven't made that choice yet, even though there are better alternatives, right? Signal is way better. Please use Signal, guys. Don't use Telegram for your private comms. Use Session, use Signal, Threema. These are good, okay? Use these. And Telegram is not even end-to-end encrypted unless you turn on the secret chat or whatever it is. It's not end-to-end encrypted by default, which is the most standard like privacy feature, right? And security feature, the most standard. But we're on it because we have to be where our audience is, and we also have like a community already built on Telegram, and now Discord, on top of all the terrible privacy stuff that was already true of Discord. Now we have this situation where it actually does it's one of the first companies or first platforms to do one of the worst things, which is tying to be able to use, I mean, certain features, not the platform itself, but certain features of the platform to your real identity after, like 4 months after it leaked millions of pictures of government IDs and other sensitive information. Let's not forget that. Like that was, I think, 4 months ago when that happened. So we are really torn on this. There's also the issue with all the exploits that are possible on Discord. We have a pretty good team of people who understand Discord very well. Our Discord is set up very well. From a security perspective, yet we had been victims of exploits in the past, right? And that's very, very common. So Discord servers get pawned all the time due to how Discord permissions are set up. So that's also a bad thing. But then on the other hand, we already have this server with a lot of different members. We built that over many years, and you know, the main community platform in the world is still very much Discord. So we would be giving that up. So I'm actually really torn on this. We're having this conversation internally at NIM, and we'll come up with a decision. You know, let me know what you guys think. I have no answer for you yet beyond, but very good question. So we'll see. Thanks for the question. Okay, next one is also from Beyond. Is it possible to implement a short messenger in NymVPN up to a certain number of bytes so that it would be possible to send short messages or something similar by ID? I guess you mean, oh yeah, like a messenger, like a private messenger baked into NymVPN itself. I think probably yes. This would mean that you would have to know the account ID of people you want to communicate with. Maybe you know, that depends. maybe some people would not want to share that, but it could be implemented. I feel like it's probably a better way to do. There were already like prototypes of this built in the community, such as NymChat, for example. This can be built with like outside of NymVPN as a standalone app, and I feel like that may be a better approach. But primarily, I'm not against it. So yeah, in theory, we could. Do you want to see that? Let me know in chat or on Telegram or maybe on Discord, wherever you want. Sorry for the lighting, ladies and gents. I'm getting some very nice afternoon lights in my face right now. Thanks for the question, Beyond. Next one is from Parallelopipe. Thanks for the question. I think they left us already. They said goodbye in chat, but hopefully they can watch the recording and see my answer or hear my answer. What's the story of the new background picture? Sorry, I came late. All right, so the new background picture, thanks for asking. I wanted to mention this in my intro. I did not have the time this week, I'll be honest, to create the forum thread for selecting the background. So I actually threw in to the Nym team, to create a background for me. If it's nice, I'm going to use it. This one is created by Casey, so big thanks to Casey, our content lead, for creating this one. Actually, I'll turn the question back on you. Who can tell me what the thinking behind this image is, and what other image that I think many of you already know it resembles, and what's exactly happening here? Does anyone know? Can anyone guess? Let me look at chat. Wait. All comments. I'll wait with that a little bit. Those were all the questions that were starred for me. Let me see if there's anything else that I should bring. Yes. All right. I don't see any other questions, so I will. I hope I didn't miss anything. Let me just run through the chat real quick. Oh, okay. Question from Anderson. Thanks for the question. What's the best messenger nowadays, Sudo? Would it be Signal? Look, messengers come down to two things. One is just the features, right? Which also include, by the way, privacy, right? Such as end-to-end encryption, such as other features that protect privacy, how the servers are set up, where they are, that kind of stuff. And then there's also the network effect, which is very, very important when it comes to messaging applications. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's logged into. So I'm still, even though I really I really dislike everything Meta does, I did create a Facebook account in 2008, and I still have that account, even though I don't use it, and I wish I didn't have to have it. A lot of my friends, and especially my family, and especially older folks, right? They are on Facebook. So to be able to communicate with them, I kind of have to have Messenger somewhere, like deactivated in my app list, sitting there just to be able to communicate with people. So for this reason, I would say Signal is the best if you want a privacy preserving application, messaging application. It's solid. If you look into the people behind Signal, if you look into Meredith Whittaker, right? They are a trustworthy organization. I can tell you that with confidence. Their technology is solid. Okay, so it passed many audits, both community and regular. It's just very, very good stuff, and they do a lot to not just protect user privacy right now, but also they keep up with things that happen on the market and change the app accordingly. For example, as soon as Microsoft released the whole recall, like the incredibly dystopian AI recording always on Windows, which is taking screenshots of what you do, and then you can like AI magic future, like search those screenshots and whatever. This is like horrible in terms of privacy. Like this is one of the most dystopian things that was ever proposed, right? And Signal, like within I think a week or two, they made it so that you can't, like if you try to take a screenshot on Windows, the Signal window is black. So that was like very quick on them. So they're very, very good. And I would recommend Signal because there's also a lot of people already on it. Signal is growing very, very quickly. So I would say that it's, I can't remember the exact number, but it has a lot of users. So if you install Signal, then you're going to find a lot of your friends, even who are not privacy minded, are already going to be there. So this is why I would recommend Signal. But on the other hand, we, of course, if you look back on the community call like playlist, you will see an episode with what's his name, with the president of the Session Foundation. Also amazing project. They also have like a decentralized aspect to their messaging application. Very, very good. So I'm not saying that they are worse, right? Feel free to use it. Please use it, and please also tell people to use it and try to grow apps like Session and Threema. They are both very, very good. But if you want the sweet spot right now of people already there, so the networking effect being there, and solid trustworthy user privacy, then I would go with Signal. Thank you for the question. Great question. All right. Next up is Azanebraza. Is there a marketing campaign among non-crypto users? Yes, there is. So NymVPN, the app itself, obviously our foundations are in crypto. We're a decentralized technology, and who naturally understand this, right, about Nym is the crypto space. Crypto users love us. They have a very easy time understanding what the value proposition is when something is decentralized versus centralized. So yes, crypto is a core audience of ours, but we didn't design NymVPN. If you notice in the interface, there are very few mentions of the crypto aspect of the project, right? People don't necessarily need to know about this. They don't even need to care. NymVPN is for everyone. So yes, very much there are campaigns for to acquire non-crypto users, and our stated goal is to make NymVPN available and usable for everyone. We don't want to don't want to make this app to just crypto users. That would be like a philosophical mistake, right? Privacy should be for everyone. So we need to and are making sure that that everyone can use us. And a big part of that is, of course, non-crypto users. Thank you for the question. Hopefully that was a satisfying answer. All right, next up is 2Teret F Millionaire 580. I butchered that name, but very nice profile picture regardless. So thanks for the question. I am already hosting my own Matrix server. Is it possible to hide the server behind the mixnet so all the traffic to the server goes through the network so nobody knows the IP of the server? I am not technical enough to answer this. I'm not sure if you would need something like hidden services in the that exists on Tor to be able to do that. If yes, then we don't currently support that. So the NIM network does not currently support hidden services. There are discussions on maybe this coming to the NIM network in the future, but currently we don't support that. But my guess, as a not very technical person, is that if you put your server behind a NymVPN connection, so like you encrypt, you put your server behind an NymVPN connection. I guess that hides the IP, right? So my guess is that this should be a yes. But again, I'm not. Maybe you're better off asking this on one of our community channels where there are a few more technical people than myself, because I am just the resident blabberer, not the resident technical person. Thank you for the question either way. Hopefully I could help with that, and if not, then we're at your service on Matrix, Telegram, Discord, or even you can message our support at support@nym.com. All right, thanks for the question. I think this is going to be the last one from Rocio. Question: did you know about SIAM? SIAM gives government operators access to everything your phone knows about you. And then I guess there has to be a second part to this question. SIAM? No. Let me research this in real time. SIAM. I can't find anything about this. Interesting. I'm not aware of it, Rocio, but send me a. I'm always down to read some deep dystopian realities. I usually do that before I go to bed, in my pajamas, just for some nice vibes to go to sleep with. So if you can send me some resources, then please drop me a DM, and I will definitely check them out. Always looking for some dystopian technologies. All right, and with that said, something also mentioned by Rocio here, which I'm going to bring on screen, BitChat, which is a weird name, and I don't know why. I don't know why they had to name it this. But anyways, BitChat is great with communications or internet outages. Yes, it is. So for those who don't know BitChat, it's a project by Jack Dorsey, the original founder and for a while CEO of former Twitter, now X, and it is a decentralized. So like it's a chat application. From what I understand, it's mostly a chat application based on a decentralized mesh network. So basically, you can communicate on BitChat via the internet, but you can also communicate among devices on the local level via Bluetooth as well, and other local, I believe, even Wi-Fi. I'm not sure about the technical details, but it's even if you have a whether natural or government forced internet outage, device to device, you can create a network and everybody can communicate with everybody who's using BitChat. So I would, especially if you're in a region where political unrest is happening or is likely to happen, or maybe natural catastrophes are happening or are likely to happen, or just in general as a means of like resilience, I definitely suggest everyone having BitChat installed and sort of just look at the app and understand how it works, because it may come very, very handy at some point. I'm a big fan of BitChat, and yeah, thanks for bringing that into view, Rocio. I highly agree. I hope I didn't miss any of the stuff that I should have answered. If yes, then you can find me. You can find me on Matrix. You can find me on Telegram. Don't DM me on Telegram though, please. Tag me on the main Nym channel, because I have way too many DMs to go through them. But you can DM me on Matrix. I keep an eye there, so you can go to the Nym server on Matrix. Hopefully, Saul can find a link and drop it in chat, and we can connect there. With all of that said, I've been blabbering. We're 10 minutes over actually, so big thanks for your time today. Hopefully, you enjoyed this solo episode of the Nym Community Call, and you had a fun time with us. And the last thing, which I already kind of revealed to you guys, is going to be, of course, the POAP password. For those of you who are new, we have this little tradition where we create an NFT called a POAP every community call. And for those who hang out with us, they can claim this NFT and commemorate the fact that they hung out with us today. So make sure to go ahead and do that. You know what to do. Go to nym.com/go/POAP and enter the passphrase, which is split tunneling, capital S, capital T. I explained why split tunneling is a big deal when it comes to NymVPN specifically. I'm a big fan, and I can't wait for it to drop on more operating systems, and then later this year to also drop in its like a 3-option format where you can select between ClearNet, fast mode, and anonymous mode depending on the application you're using. So yeah, big fan of split tunneling. That's why this is the password. Thanks for joining me today. Drop a like, drop a comment, and all of that good stuff, to support this video in the algorithm. See you all next week, and have a great week.